Today we'll be talking about Free at Last by the Blind Boys of Alabama and Harder Than That by Louis Armstrong. Free at Last was released in 2008 as part of the Down in New Orleans album. Though from Alabama, the group recorded the song in New Orleans, Louisiana. During that time, the United States was going through economic turmoil, which originated in the collapse of the housing market. Also, in 2008, Barack Obama was elected to the presidential office as the first black president, which was a beacon of hope for many. So this song is part of traditional gospel music, and it expresses gratitude and liberation. It has a moderate to upbeat tempo, a steady and energetic rhythm, and it has a simple melody that relies on repetition and the expressiveness of the vocalist. So you hear a lot of voices and parts in this song, and it utilizes a lot of the call and response technique, which allows their voices to blend seamlessly and creates a unified sound. The call and response technique is also reminiscent of church choirs. So free at last it bridges the divide between sacred gospel music and secular protest music. The song is deeply rooted in African American spiritual tradition, but its messages also resonates with themes of civil rights, liberation, and social justice. By connecting these traditions, they make the song relevant to contemporary social struggles, drawing a direct line between spiritual freedom and political liberation. Free at Last is also a blend of traditional gospel with elements of soul, blues, and even rock, with the integration of the guitar, bass, and other modern instruments. This makes the piece more universal to audiences beyond the gospel community. Now, Harder Than That, comparatively, uh, was recorded in 1927 during the time of the Harlem Renaissance. Now, the Harlem Renaissance was at its height in the 1920s, and it was a statement of black pride and resilience in the face of racial discrimination and segregation. This piece became a bridge. This piece, like Free at Last, would become a bridge that connected worlds, as Harder Than That uh, would connect races, as jazz rose in popularity among both black and white audiences. Both of these pieces can be seen to highlight racial progress in society, Free at Last having a liberating connotation, and Harder Than That contributing to the breakdown of social barriers and integrating American culture. Harder Than That also uses call and response, as Armstrong's scat is met with a response from other band members, which creates a playful and conversational style. Armstrong's scat singing in this piece is very notable and innovative. Scat is a vocal improvisation using nonsensical syllables, and Armstrong was actually one of the early pioneers of this technique. His scat solo in this piece adds a lively and personal flair that shows his ability to translate instrumental ideas into vocal performance. So both of these pieces' utilization of call and response resemble the interaction found in church music and early blues, which grounds the music in African American traditions and community-based performance. So both of these pieces made me feel a sense of excitement. Um, the Blind Boys of Alabama in Free at Last made me feel included in the group's spiritual culture, and Harder Than That illuminated how music doesn't have to strictly follow the music sheet, and that in like how it has a loose and playful um, tone and rhythm. I also felt that sort of feeling. So now I'm going to talk about Uncle Pen in Haruno Umi, which is also the Spring Sea. Alright, so Uncle Pen was recorded and released in 1950. Um, in the video, the group performed in 1965 at the Grand Ole Opry. So in the early 1950s, bluegrass was emerging as a distinct genre of American roots music, which was heavily influenced by Appalachian folk, old time music, blues, and country traditions. Bill Monroe, with his band, the Bluegrass Boys, um, was a key figure in defining and popularizing the bluegrass sound. So the growth of radio recordings allowed bluegrass and country music to reach broader audiences, spreading the music from the South in Appalachia to the rest of the country. By the 1950s, radio was one of the most important ways of distributing music to population. And the Grand Ole Opry was a famous country music radio program that had made country, bluegrass, and other genres household staples across the country. Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys were frequent performers on the Grand Ole Opry, which helped popularize Uncle Pen and bluegrass music as a whole. This resulted in the song reaching a large audience, reinforcing the significance of traditional American music in a dynamic society. So the song is repetitive and it takes many its section consists of alternating instrumental breaks where the fiddle or other instruments take turns playing short solos. This allows Bill Monroe and his band to showcase their improvisational skills, which is also central to bluegrass. The song also features the core instruments of a traditional bluegrass band. This includes the fiddle, banjo, and the guitar. So Uncle Pen is played at a brisk and fast, at a brisk tempo and a fast pace, which gives it an energetic and upbeat feel that reflects the lively nature of the story about dancing and fiddle playing. The rhythm is driven by syncopation, where emphasis is placed on the offbeats, which is also a hallmark in bluegrass. Syncopation creates a propulsive and forward-moving energy in the song. Um, and Uncle Pen is deeply rooted in the Appalachian and folk and old-time music traditions. One of the most notable aspects of Uncle Pen is its emphasis on the fiddle as a central instrument. While the fiddle had long been part of folk and Appalachian music traditions, Monroe highlights its importance by dedicating the song to his uncle, who was a legendary fiddler, and structuring the piece around fiddle solos and instrumental breaks. The song brought the fiddle to the forefront of bluegrass, showcasing its virtuosity and placing it um, alongside other bluegrass instruments like the mandolin and banjo. So Uncle Pen celebrates the fiddle, which helps cement the fiddle's role as a key instrument in bluegrass music. Comparatively, Harano Umi, or Spring Sea, was composed in 1921 in Japan, so this is on another side of the world. During this time the piece was composed, Japan was at the end of what is known as the Taisho era, which included modernization, economic growth, political liberalization, and cultural flourishing, but this era was overshadowed by militarism in the 1930s. The rhythm in Haru no Umi is relatively free and fluid, allowing Miyagi, the performers, to emphasize the expressive and flowing nature of the music. This piece does not really follow a strict metered rhythm. Instead, it features a flexible tempo, also called rubato, that reflects the natural flow of the sea. This flexibility in tempo is important in traditional Japanese music, where the focus is on emotional expression of the performer rather than on strict rhythmic precision. The rhythmic interaction between the koto and the shakuhachi is conversational, with each instrument responding to the other naturally in a flowing manner. So both of these pieces follow traditional styles or further establish musical aspects as traditions in culture. Just like Uncle Pen includes traditional instruments relevant to its genre, Spring Sea was written for two traditional Japanese music instruments: the koto, a stringed instrument, and the shakuhachi, which is a bamboo flute. So Miyagi's Harano Umi played a very important role in introducing traditional Japanese music to global audiences, particularly outside Japan. By writing music that could appeal to Western listeners, Miyagi helped to elevate the koto and the shakuhachi to a status where they were seen not just as traditional folk instruments, but as capable of producing art music that could be appreciated by multitudes of populations. This piece became so important and that it an additive to society that it's often performed during New Year's celebrations in Japan and has become iconic, contributing to the global recognition of traditional Japanese music. These pieces contributed Both of these pieces contributed to the popularization of their respective genres, while putting further emphasis in giving traditional instruments a role in an ever-changing musical world. Uncle Pen doing so with the fiddle, and Harano Umni doing so with the koto and shakuhachi. So this set showcases virtuosity and expressiveness of the performers, and both pieces are telling a story, um, despite Haram no Umi lacking in lyrics. Though both differ in the utilization of vocals and lyrics, both pieces were able to create imagery and were able to tell me a story. I was able to imagine the themes and events embedded into the music. Thank you.